Hey there, I'm still Gabe, and I still really like video games. After panic crunching to reach my deadline and the sheer scale creep of my last video, I really wanted to relax and do something a bit smaller. Maybe take my time on a beach somewhere, enjoying the sand and surf. But it's also the middle of January, so I guess Isle Delfino will have to do. Super Mario Sunshine was the first video game that I remember playing. A little brother of a sister's friend was stuck on the airstrip because he couldn't read yet and didn't know what to do. I, a 4-year-old who also couldn't quite read yet, but was already rather fond of comic strips, managed to piece it together. After beating the first boss in what I imagine was an uncoordinated stupor, my boyhood sharing acquaintance shouted, "Wow, you're really good at Mario." It was the first good thing I had ever done on purpose in my spotty young memory. It was the first thing that received genuine praise that didn't sound a little patronizing. Growing up without other small friends my age, it was the first time I had a peer's respect and attention. This ruined my life. From that point on, being good at Mario and eventually being not terrible at other video games would become a part of my identity. I would go on to make games my primary lifelong hobby. I'd even go on to make this channel where I've talked about video games to varying success on at least 2 different occasions. Super Mario Sunshine is a game that I cherish like one cherishes a particularly special stuffed animal that one owns as a tiny child. Much like that same stuffed animal, it has likely seen its fair share of grime and gristle that might tarnish your feelings towards it when you find it trapped deep in your closet years after you lost it. I'm hoping that by revisiting it, and maybe some other games that I played as a kid, I'll figure out exactly how I feel about it today, and position it somewhere on my ever-growing ranked list of every game I've ever finished since 2020. So let's do that. Sunshine's story is suitably small, simple, and sweet, so we'll speed through its set dressing and settle smoothly into its salacious sights soon after. The Mushroom Kingdom's resident monarch is sick of presiding over Toad Parliament. She decides to vacation at the neighboring Isle Delfino, which boasts enough tourist attractions at high enough prices to keep the pores out. Unfortunately, her personal plumber security detail, likely short-staffed due to a mishap involving a certain ghoulish mansion,
Mario!
is framed for the crime of LARPing Jet Set Radio. Thankfully, the super jailbait brother has enough friends in high places to avoid the electric chair. Instead, he receives a rather light punishment: community service. The locals, knowing that strings have been pulled behind the scenes, now belay him at every turn, hoping that karma will put the pesky plumber in the dirt. Meanwhile, a devious pair of father-son turtles plan to kidnap the vacationing princess for an episode of Wife Swap. Now that introductions are out of the way, let's explore Isle Delfino. Mario, who is supposed to also be enjoying his vacation alongside the princess, has been forced to clean up after other people having fun. As a card-carrying member of the service industry myself, maybe the judge's punishment was harsher than we thought. Still beats rotting in a jail cell? Maybe.
Chicken jockey!
Cleaning up a place gives you greater appreciation for its organic beauty. In forcing players to do their chores around the island, Nintendo has tricked us into scrubbing over every meticulously crafted level with a mustachioed toothbrush. Despite taking place in a single larger region, there's a boatload of variety. It's amazing that they managed to mostly escape Mario 64's aesthetic dead end of making levels out of floating timber and toys. As alluded to earlier, Princess Peach has a monarch's taste in vacation destinations. Isle Delfino boasts an amusement park, nighttime festivals, gorgeous natural wonders, a 5-star hotel, and friendly locals. Or at least, The locals would be friendly if they didn't suspect you of graffiti terrorism. On the topic of the locals, every new character design is a winner too. Even the enemies, who were all designed an ecosystem apart from standard Mushroom Kingdom fare, and they're all absurdly charming. Sunshine's world feels lived in, more so than any Mario game made before or since. There's a culture here, relationships, structure, but all of that means nothing if it's not fun to throttle the plumber around the place. So how does Mario Sunshine feel? They said that Flood was added to Mario Sunshine to let him have wild level designs that he couldn't in Mario 64. His moveset was adjusted to blend better with the fishbowl backpack. Then they made the secret levels in which you lose Flood. The developers probably believed they figured out how to make Mario feel good in 3D GameCube space without the hover nozzle. They did not. This sucks. Or maybe it was some spiteful designer's way of saying, "Look, bozo, the plumber can't do that when the Z-axis is turned on." Technically speaking, a ton of moves in Mario's toolkit are completely unnecessary to beat the game. For example, whoever decided the dive shouldn't be able to grab onto ledges should be shot. There's a reason that indie platformers that Sunshine inspired don't have this issue. Spin jumps are finicky, the wall kick still wrestles with weird angles, and levels rarely allow space and geometry for a triple jump. Even with these quirks, the hidden moves in Mario's arsenal all serve their purpose as well. The best use cases are taught to the player organically through the many Shadow Mario chase sequences. Speaking of our parkouring doppelganger, the repeated bosses are annoying and add very little. We did not need this many sludge plants and other recurring foes. It's very nice that they keep inviting one of them to go go-karting and to play sports. He still overstays his welcome. When the levels are designed to leverage Sunshine's fun but chunky movement, utilize Flood well, or just revel in the oddball creativity afforded from leaving the typical Mushroom Kingdom, this is easily my favorite Mario game. When the game undermines itself to be different or pay homage to older Mario games, it's messy. It's a perfectly fine, at times even lovely game, but 6 out of 10 design is unacceptable for any Mario title, and some of these stages cut it a bit close.
The horror.
When I first played this game, it gave me an ego boost that I would forever chase. The trajectory of my life had been changed, for better or worse. When talking to small children, we often don't consider the effects that our words may have. If I could go back in time and give myself some choice words after that little compliment seed planted itself, it'd be the same thing I would tell this game if it was sentient. You don't need to prove anything to me, Sunshine. Being who you are is always more important than trying to be or impress someone else. Whoa, let's pull it back there. That was pretty therapeutic. I'm feeling pretty refreshed after exploring this and all of that feeling stuff I just talked about. This whole short-form childhood games retrospective thing is fun. I can see why every controller wrangling content gremlin makes these. I guess I'll go ahead and make another one. Come back next time, where we'll journey into obscure territory in Chorokyu HG2, known in our tongue as Road Trip Adventure. Until then, keep it clean, and I hope to see you again soon.